Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. This week, we complete 683 days of meaningful mornings, 97 weeks of meaningful mornings, and we commence our 8th semester. One of the best qualities in a person, in a family, in a community, is follow through, especially in the context of what we're presently immersed in, which is how to shift, how to evolve from jnana to vijnana, from knowledge to wisdom. This shift, this evolution happens by follow through. And I'm reminding everyone of how much we have followed through. 683 mornings is a lot. Whenever you take up a practice, whenever you're faced with a challenge, remember how much you followed through already so that you continue to follow through. At the end of chapter 4, Sri Krishna shares a powerful quarter. Shraddhavan labhate jnana. The one who is faith-filled, they are prepared, they're evolved for knowledge, for knowing. This teaching about having faith, being faith-filled, often escapes us. What does that mean? How do I practice this? Nurturing faith commences with logic. If you go to a restaurant, you're walking down a street and you go to a restaurant, especially in big cities, you'll see a sign outside that shares, this restaurant has passed a health inspection. You've seen that before, those green signs. Logically, then, you feel more comfortable in that restaurant than if you see a sign that is orange or red. Don't eat here, you'll get sick. It's logical, yes? Our faith will be nurtured by logic, but there's an end to logic. That logic has to end. And what continues from there is being around a role model. Yesterday, I used the words of being with those who are faith-filled. Then they can fill you up with faith. That too, in a subtle way, is a dependency. That also has to end, and what has to continue is reflection. What is critical to go from being a believer to being faith-filled is manana, or reflection. Connecting some of these dots more, I shared this message from the end of chapter 4. What is the theme of chapter 4? Letting go of deservership. In chapter 5, letting go of doership. Chapter 6, dhyana, or contemplation. One has to be faith-filled to let go of results. One has to be faith-filled to let go of separation, that I did this and you didn't. Then dhyana, or contemplation, is possible. I find it to be frustrating because it's inaccurate when a teacher, when an organization will say, now let's meditate. To be able to contemplate in a Vedic way requires a lifetime of preparation, not breathing, not because I said it. And this is very clear to us because in verse 17, Shri Krishna uses the term Eka Bhaktihi. Eka Bhaktihi means one direction in pop culture. In our culture, it is one devotion. Can you remind me, in addition to the word devotion, what is another definition for bhakti? Starts with the same letter. Share with me in the chat. And I like how passionate some of you are. You're speaking it out like I can hear you. That's how real this community is. Yes, dependence. Eka Bhaktihi is when I depend on the one who is dependable. The only one who's dependable. Eka Bhaktihi, this terminology will change in chapter 9, where Shri Krishna will use the phrase Ananya. Ananya Bhaktihi. Anya means other. Ananya, no other. How we can start to reflect upon this. All that we need in our lives is within us, is us. That's Eka Bhakti. When I'm holding on tightly to myself, it's natural for me to let go of deservership, doership. This week we commenced our Swatantra guide on living the Gita. We have 80 seekers part of this course, who are part of this course. It would be lovely to have 100. So if you're not part of this, be part of this. The first question Prince Arjuna asks is, what is peace? And the first answer that Sri Krishna shares is quietude. Where does quietude come from? It comes from you. Your nature is silence. Are you devoted to yourself? Are you depending on yourself? In verse 18, Shri Krishna is being very clear about what the purpose of his Gita is. Bhagavad Gita is not about Karma Yoga. It is about Jnana Yoga. Because he shares, the devotee that is dearest to me is the one who knows me. Knowing me is being me. There's no separation, there is a oneness. Bhagavad Gita is not about dharma. That is the means. Bhagavad Gita is about Brahma, which means infinity, consciousness. Yoga is dharma, yukta is Brahma. In verse 18, he says, such a personality is one with me. I'd shared with all of you yesterday about the samskara we're celebrating in July. It's called Akshara Abhyasa. Abhyasa means to practice. Akshara means that which is indestructible, that which is beyond the finite. So I will help our son Vyasa write Om. And that's what the purpose of education is, the purpose of our life is, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to be Brahma. Verses 17 and 18, and we're about to begin 19. If you're still reflecting on how do you practice this, start to reflect on Shri Krishna being the best. That will evolve to being Shri Krishna is not just the best, he's the only. There is nothing but Shri Krishna. From best to only. If this is still escaping you, live a lifestyle where there's less choice. When we indulge in choices, what we're doing is nurturing api, which means also. I'm going to live for this and Shri Krishna. From api to eva, which means alone. Less choices is training in this eka bhakti. The one who knows the creator consciousness is shared more details in verse 19. This is a popular verse for your reference. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabaha. Bahunam, many. Janmanam, births. Ante, at the end of. Whenever there's a reference of births, here many is not like many dishes or many cars. These are grand numbers in the billions. At the end of many births, Shri Krishna is implying here that this is one's final birth. What will happen in your final birth? All of the virtues that you have, they become fully ripened. What is a fully ripened virtue? It is a virtue that you live by, live with, in every context. Doesn't matter if the day is hard or the day is easy. You're with someone you like, you're with someone you dislike. All virtues in all ways. That is what is being shared here. Jnanavan mam prapadyate. One who is so evolved, theirs is a vijnana. Theirs is a wisdom that there is only me, and so they approach me. Approaching here must not be taken in a physical context. Whenever there's words like gati, prapadyate, which implies movement, these words are only there because we're oriented towards that. Going, doing. Prapadyate means recognizing, rediscovering who you are. Vasudevaha sarvamiti. What is the recognition, the realization? Sarvam, all inside, all outside, Vasudevaha iti, is only Vasudeva. Vasudeva means the son of Vasudeva. That is Sri Krishna. But the more full meaning of this, Vasudeva means the Deva that is Vasati, the light that is housed in all. The light in you is consciousness. The light in all is consciousness. The one who knows Sri Krishna, all they experience is consciousness. This word Vasudevaha sounds like Vasudha eva kutumbaka. You've heard that before. So many mandirs have this as their slogan. I don't know how many mandirs know what this means, or people who know what this means. Vasudha means earth, that which gives. Eva doesn't mean also, it means only. Kutumbaka. Tell me what kutumbaka means in the chat. Kutumbaka means family. That's right. That all on earth, including the earth, is one family. Humans, animals, plants, stones. How is that possible? The sutra, what unites all of us, is consciousness. To know this. Such a bhakta, such a jnani is also a mahatma. They are divine. Mahatma means great soul or large-hearted, but I feel that they are divine. Sudurlabaha, to be this is most difficult. Yet it is possible. And I'll read more about that tomorrow. Final reflection. You are a Mahatma. And I'm smiling because I like to smile, but this is not a sarcastic smile. You are a Mahatma. You just can't see it. When our children and I are outside playing, because they're shorter than me physically, they're able to see bugs that I can't see. Yes. For those who are more pure in memory, mind, intellect, ego, they come to see that they are divine. How precious are these verses? Everyone tells us that we're useless. We talk too much. We don't talk enough. Here we're being taught that we are divine. To application. Your application yesterday was to find out what kind of bhakta you are. Please share in the chat. Here after this verse, everyone should write jnani. If you are praying and living to get out of adversity or to get into prosperity, please realize that is still a dvandva. Dvandva means pair of opposite, which means it's still in dvaita. It will change. It will not provide completion. Be a jignasu. I had read Gita from Portland's reflection on our website, and she very beautifully analyzed what kind of bhakta she is. And that leads me to our application for this weekend. Please go to our website, to the Meaningful Mornings community, and I want you to randomly choose 3 applications. one for Friday, one for Saturday, one for Sunday, and reflect upon this and write about it. That is your application. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.